negative 4, that's going to be bigger than negative 8 on our number line. So in this case, since we multiplied by a negative, we had to switch the sign. And that's going to be a major thing that's going to follow us through the rest of our inequalities. All right, let's practice out one more here. And let's go with x over 4 minus 3 greater than negative 2. Okay. All right. I didn't mention to have you stop the video before. Hopefully you did that. If you didn't, that's okay though. But let me have everybody go ahead, stop the video, try and work this one out by yourself, and then we'll work it out as a group. All right. I'm going to assume that you paused the video at some point, and let's go ahead and start it up. All right. So we will start by adding 3 to both sides. Add 3. Add 3. That gives me x over 4 greater than, and in this case we get a positive 1. Those terms will add to 0. Okay. Then x divided by 4. In order to get rid of that fraction, we're just going to multiply both sides by 4. Alright? So remember, in this case, we're multiplying by a positive number. Since we're multiplying by a positive 4, since that's what we're multiplying by, we will keep our sign still augmented in the same direction. And that'll give us x is greater than 4. Alright? Alrighty. So feeling good there. Let's take one that we're going to solve, and then we're also going to find the intervals here. And we'll make sure that we graph these. I guess is what I'm trying to say there. So let's take one more. 16 plus 3x greater than or equal to negative 2. Okay. So right now we've been just starting out where we're more interested in just being able to solve the inequalities. So let's start this one up. We're going to start... Before we start, hopefully everybody's paused the video. Make sure you do that. Alright, I'll assume you paused. Let's start it up, and we are going to start by subtracting 16 off of both sides. Alright, so if we have subtracted our 16, positive 16, subtract the 16, that's going to give us a 0. And then we'll be left with 3x greater than or equal to, and we have negative 2 and negative 16. If we add those two negative numbers together, get a negative 18. Okay, that leaves us with 3x is greater than or equal to negative 18. Alrighty, so now we divide by 3. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is going to give us just 1x. And we're going to be left with a negative 6 on the other side. Alright, now let's see here. We divided by positive 3, but wait, we had a negative 18. Make sure everybody can see that. Alright, so if we divided a negative number by a positive number, what happens to our sign? Remember, it's only if we are multiplying or dividing by a negative number. If there's a negative number on the other side, we don't mind. That's going to give us our final part of the solution there. Alright, and that's how we use a little bit of arithmetic in solving our inequalities. Now let's go back and just review another concept that we've had here, and that is graphing an inequality. So we're going to graph it on a number line. And on most of the sheets that we've had so far, it's been provided. But occasionally, we may have to draw them out. So remember, we have ourselves a line, and it's going to go forever in both directions. Right? Let me kind of scooch my paper in a bit. There we go. And for the most part, we will put in just our point of interest, which for our first problem here, we had x is less than 15. That means we are going to focus on 15. Alright, and Since we don't have much else put in here, we'll go with 14 falls on the left-hand side of that because it's smaller. 16 is one of our bigger values there, so we'll put that there. And we're going to start by making a circle right where 15 is. Okay, so we made our circle. And one of our important steps is going to be deciding on whether or not we're going to shade that in. Right? So let's look at our sign here. Here it is saying that we are looking at all numbers that are just smaller than 15, but not necessarily 15 itself. Remember, if it has the little line under it, then that means that it can be equal to 15. But in this case, it can't. So what that means for us, we are going to leave our circle open. Or in essence, we're not going to shade it in. And then we're going to pick numbers that are smaller than our point of interest. So we're going to pick numbers like 14 and 13.